अरिहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज पयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। मोक्ष मार्गस्य नेतारम पेतारं कर्म भूभृतां ज्ञातारं विश्वतत्त्वानां वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये। So we will be completing Tattvat Sutra today. Only one aphorism is left, the last one, aphorism number 33. And then we will begin with Sem5. Although it's a self-study, but nevertheless we will be discussing it in the class. Small book, but we will discuss. So first we finish Tattvat Sutra. So before we move on to the last Sutra, to Sutra number 33, I would like to have just brush up the earlier things that we have covered. The process of what goes on in sensory knowledge. Okay, so that I need to just brief you a little bit, and as I said, I will give an example also to understand it better. So the sequential development of sensory knowledge, right, that begins with avgraha. Avgraha means sensation or apprehension. Okay, then the next step is iha, curiosity. Okay, spatial interest and curiosity to know the subject that was known through sensation is termed as curiosity. Then the next step is the judgment, avai. After curiosity, the knowledge that ascertains certain qualities of the subject is known as judgment. And the last part is retention, dharana. So the ability to remember the subject that was ascertained and the judgment that was made regarding its feature over time is known as retention. So this is the process. It goes on like this only, in this sequence only: sensation, curiosity, judgment, and then retention. So whatever is coming up to retention, that can be further recalled in memory, called remembrance, smruti. Then the next step would be recognition, pratyabhigyan. Okay. Then the next step would be logic or argument, tark. And the last one would be inference, anuman gyan. So this is the whole process of mati gyan, sensory knowledge. Now, so initially we need to understand this, and once you understand it, it works automatically and you are able to focus on yourself once you know this process. Okay. So the process of knowing this, the process of knowledge through sensory and scriptural knowledge is very minute, and it's very rapid and can only be known by the omniscient. Okay. We are just making a estimation, you can say. We are not able to perceive it as the omniscient is. Okay. This makes us realize the potential of omniscience, and in turn shows us the potential of the soul substance. Okay. So we realize our magnificence as we understand that if only one knowledge attribute has such infinite potential, what would be the potential of the soul who is a mass of infinite attributes? Okay. So this is the one thing that we can make out from this. The next point is the process of knowledge is very natural and not consciously done by the soul. So the soul doesn't have the pressure of knowing something and not knowing other things. Okay. Knowing self and others is the soul's primary nature, and it's a natural process. So this understanding dissolves the false belief of doership. Okay. When it is automatically happening, there is no way of doing anything, right? With the burden of doership gone, one's life becomes stress-free and easy, because all the stress, anxiety was because of doership. Okay. This naturally brings more happiness because now you don't have the tension of anything that becomes a subject of your knowledge. Whatever is reflecting in our knowledge, we are just knowing it. When we know this, we don't go beyond the knowing process. Okay. That makes us absolutely tension free. Okay. So if it is something good that we are knowing, then it is also okay. If it is something not good for us, that also we are knowing only. We are not doing anything, right? So the doership, the responsibility of doership has gone, and that is the only reason why we are able to experience happiness. Okay. The main effort lies in the initial stage, when we are trying to challenge the false belief that have been misleading us for eternity, because we are having this wrong belief since time immemorial. There is no beginning of this wrong belief. Okay. So initially we need some efforts to uh, get rid of this false belief. And what are the efforts that you need to do? The first part is the reading the scriptures. The second is to analyze and contemplate about it. Whatever you have read, you analyze and contemplate about it. And the third stage is the decision making. Your effort goes up to decision making. There is nothing beyond decision making that we can do at our end. This is the effort very precisely. Okay. So initially we have to put in effort to do all this process, but then it becomes effortless. It becomes automatic. It becomes very easy. Example, when a person starts learning driving a car, he has to first see where is the brake, where is the clutch, where is the gear. Okay, all these different functions he has to very minutely understand, decide, remember. But once he keeps on practicing and he becomes very familiar with all the things, then he is driving also, he is talking to somebody on phone also, and he is listening to music also, all things happening simultaneously without any effort, effortlessly. Okay. Similarly, we also, in the initial phase, we have to study the scriptures and then understand the meaning and contemplate with effort. But over time, this becomes effortless, and we can discriminate the pure soul from the body, the impure emotions, intense passions, alien dispositions, psychic activity, thoughts, everything. Okay. So one side there is a pure soul, and on the other side, all these things are there. So we have to discriminate between the two only, self and non-self. Apart from self, everything else is in the non-self category. So in this way, you will develop the right belief. Okay. So I hope now you understand why we were discussing this process in the sensory knowledge. Very interesting. Lot of research is being done in the philosophical world across all types of faiths, you know. But Jainism is unique in the sense because we have this point of view. And with this point of view, we are able to comprehend the substance very clearly. Okay. So, although many other faiths are also doing research on the sensory knowledge, the different divisions, valid comprehensive knowledge and point of view, everything is there, but they don't have point of view. So that makes the Jainism very unique religion. We are able to prove everything what is being expressed over here. So now we move on to the last aphorism, aphorism number 33. And for that, I have made you a co-host, Aditi. You can share the 3 pages that I have shared yesterday in the group. With these 3 pages, we will be learning the aphorism number 33. Okay. Logical process of ascertaining reality. Okay. So there are 7 types of viewpoint which is being explained in one sutra, and you have to know only the definition. So the book that we were having, Tatvarth Mani Pradeep, it has got a very detailed discussions on this. So it is around 30 pages. Okay. So because just we want to know the terminology and its meaning. So that is that purpose can be solved with this book only with 3 pages. So I'm not burdening you, and it's also very complicated. Okay.
So you have to make me the host.
Cost is not possible.
You will have to make me the co-host.
Fine. So I made cost.
But my connection got disconnected.
Okay. That's right.
Hmm.
Yes, now you are cost.
Sir, is this the document?
No, not this one. 3 pages.
Did you share it yesterday?
Yes, yesterday.
Yesterday, Sammed I have downloaded.
Yes, Samed also that we were
You have
just going.
already downloaded, but
Yes, this one also 3 pages only.
wait, I think I have.
It's only a screenshot.
Those screenshots.
Yeah.
They are in media. Sorry. I was looking in files. 1 minute. Sorry.
So the sutra says, Negam Sangra Vyavhar Ruju Sutra Shabd Sambhirude Evam Bhuta Naya. So these are the 7 names of the point of view. The first one is Naigam Nay, purpose-based viewpoint. Okay. So first we will read the meaning of this aphorism, and then we will move on to the 7 definitions of the 7 point of view. That is all we need to study in this, and then we will start the Samit Sikhar. The logical process of ascertaining reality consists of the following viewpoints. Purpose-based viewpoint, that is the first one, also called Naigamnay. The second is class-based viewpoint, Sangranay. The third is conventional viewpoint, Vyavharnay. The fourth is the viewpoint of momentariness, Ruju Sutranay. Then the fifth one is the viewpoint of terminology, Shabdanay. Then the next 6th one is the viewpoint of derivatives. Yes, this one. Enlarge a bit. Yes. So then the 6th one is the viewpoint of derivatives, Sambhirudnay. And the last one is viewpoint of manifestation. Okay. Viewpoint of manifestation. So So these are the 7 names and you have to understand these 7 definitions only. Okay. So we are referring this book. The scheme of viewpoints, Naya, is the analytical method of acquiring and asserting knowledge. So you know that by applying point of view and the comprehensive knowledge, we can ascertain the knowledge of any subject. Okay. So here we are using viewpoint to know the object. A particular viewpoint is called Nai in Sanskrit. It does not rule out other viewpoints. Okay. It does not rule out. Only thing is that at a time, only one viewpoint is highlighted. Rest of are ignored. Okay. A particular stance describes a partial truth and not the whole truth. Okay. So this particular one point of view describes a partial truth and not the whole truth. You remember that example of elephant. Okay. So 6% touching the same elephant and somebody touching the tail, he thinks that elephant is like a tail. Somebody touching the leg, he feels that elephant is like a leg. But no, all these are the parts of elephant. Okay. So a particular stance describes a partial truth and not the whole truth. So it is the right from its own point of view, but it becomes wrong when it rejects other point of view. So it is right from its own point of view, but it becomes wrong when it rejects other point of view. So we don't have to reject. We put in our point of view and also uh, don't negate the other points of view. Then it is all right. Okay. So you can say that the leg of the elephant, how you will say, the leg is like a pillar. Okay. It just represents the one part of the elephant and not the whole elephant. Okay. So it is right from its own point of view, but it becomes wrong when it rejects other points of view. So your point of view is right, but you are same time you should not reject other points of view. If we organize all viewpoints so that they supplement each other, then we can arrive at the whole truth or the precise and consonant view in its entirety. So one viewpoint describes one part of the whole thing, whole truth, right? Then another viewpoint describes another part of the whole truth. So similarly, if we organize all viewpoints, okay, so that they supplement each other, then we can arrive at the whole truth. Okay. So this is how the point of view works. Okay. So when we organize all viewpoints together, it becomes a valid comprehensive knowledge, and it is the right knowledge about the object. So now these 7 viewpoints we are discussing. The first one is purpose-based viewpoint, Naigam Nay. In this viewpoint, the purpose of the activity is taken to represent the entire activity. Okay. The purpose of the activity. Okay. Somebody is going to fetch water and somebody asks me, where are you going? So, so he will not say that I'm going to fetch the water. I am going to prepare food. What are you going for? I'm going to prepare food. Although he will bring water and then he will put rice into it and then he will put it in the cooker and then the food will be made, right? But somebody asking you, where are you going? I'm going to prepare the food. So this is how this viewpoint expresses. For example, when a person who is carrying golf clubs is questioned, what are you doing? He answers, I am playing golf. He's just carrying golf clubs. Okay. So what are you doing? I'm playing golf. In another instance, when we ask a person carrying groceries to the kitchen, what are you doing? He may reply, I am cooking meals. The person carrying golf, slightly above, you take it slightly above. Yes. The person carrying golf club is not actually playing golf, but he is involved in an activity whose ultimate goal is playing golf. Similarly, the person carrying groceries is actually not cooking, but carrying groceries is part of a series of activity that leads to cooking. This is called purpose-based viewpoint. Okay. Then it has got its division, subdivision, past, present, future. Okay. So calling a prince a king is another example of this purpose-based viewpoint. Although he's just now a son of a king, he's not the king. But since in future he will become a king, so we can very well tell him like right now only that he is a king. So these kind of statements are called purpose-based viewpoint, negam ne. Now the second is class-based viewpoint. It is also called synthetic viewpoint. Okay. So the idea is to synthesize everything. Okay. In this viewpoint, several things which are essentially similar and which are compatible with one another are considered together. So top of the page. Take it to the top. Yes. Are considered together. Thus, class-based viewpoint considers an entire class or group. For example, the word citizen is used for all men and women living in a country without any regard to their gender, color, ethnicity, employment, etc. Similarly, the word entity refers to living as well as non-living entities. Okay. Such descriptions are object of class-based viewpoint. Okay. So what this class-based viewpoint? Like citizen. So now among the citizens, you can further make groups like doctors, lawyers, businessmen, engineer, teachers, MBAs, CAs, So from the class-based viewpoint, you go to the third one, conventional viewpoint. When you go on subdividing, you go to conventional viewpoint. Okay. So you go on dividing up to the last point. When it is not further divisible, then you start consolidating. So these two viewpoints, the second and third one, the second is class-based and the third one is conventional viewpoint. They work in tandem. The job of the class-based viewpoint is to divide, go on subdividing, right? And the job of conventional viewpoint is to consolidate. Okay. So let's first understand what is conventional viewpoint and then we will understand this. So this conventional viewpoint is also given name analytic viewpoint. Okay. Analytic viewpoint would be a better word, I suppose, because vyavhar nahi, traditionally we call it as conventional viewpoint, but this is not the same vyavhar nahi that we used along with the real point of view. Okay. So real point of view and conventional point of view, these when we use, then the conventional viewpoint is different. And here it is different. So I think analytical viewpoint would be a better word. This viewpoint examines a certain object or situation based on conventional ideas, popular ideas. In the above example, classifying the citizens such as doctors, lawyers, businessmen, engineers, and teachers separately is the object of conventional viewpoint. In the case of entities, the conventional viewpoint may consider living and non-living entities separately. So these two examples were given in point number 3 that is being carried forward here and described here. Now, I can you can do it this way also. So first classification was citizen. So under citizens, we said doctors, engineers, lawyers. Now among the doctors, you can further subdivide like eye specialist, heart specialist, ENT, liver, kidney, all these specialists, right? So when we do subdivisions further, then doctors become the class-based point and the further divisions of specialization becomes conventional viewpoint. Okay. Now again in the eye specialist, you can further divide, someone is retina specialist, someone is what we call cataract specialist, someone is called glaucoma specialist, So, so in this way, the division goes on. So long the division goes on, the conventional viewpoint goes on dividing, dividing, dividing. But when the further subdivision is not possible, then what it does, it starts again consolidating and it comes back to the original class-based point. So this kind of practice from class-based to conventional viewpoint back to class-based. If these exercises are done in our knowledge, then our knowledge becomes sharper and very clear. Okay. So this is the objective of explaining this. Now the fourth point, viewpoint of momentariness. Okay. So all the first three are also called substance viewpoint, dravyarthik nay. Okay. And the balance four are called paryarthik nay. Okay. Modification point of view. So substance point of view and modification point of view, we can divide the 7 across these two also. Okay. So now the fourth one, that is we are starting with the modification point of view. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So now first one, Ruju Sutra Nay, viewpoint of momentariness. Ruju means very simple. Okay. This viewpoint focuses only on the present state or form of the object. He is focusing only on the present state. Although there is a past state, there is a future state, but we are not looking at all in those things. We are only focused on the present state or form of the object. So that's why is it called Ruju Sutrane. All things in the universe undergo transformation continuously. Every moment a new modification is appearing and the older modification is getting extinct. Okay. So evolution and extinction of modification happens all the time. Never a moment comes when the modification starts manifesting. No, it doesn't stop. It always manifests. Every moment new modification comes and the old modification go away. Okay. So this is a continuous process that all the substance in the universe are undergoing. The first three viewpoints do not focus on these transformations. Okay. So their point of focus is the object itself, not the transformation. However, the viewpoint of momentariness recognizes the fact that transformations occur in the object, but it considers only the state of the object that exists at the present time. Okay. So the modification existing in the present time, that is only being considered. For example, a gold coin was turned into a ring from which a necklace can be made later. Okay. This viewpoint of momentariness will consider the present mode only, that is of the ring. So the past mode was a gold coin, then it become a ring, and then it will become a necklace. But this particular viewpoint of momentariness only focus on the present viewpoint, that is a ring, gold ring. Okay. Now the fifth point. So the next 3, 5, 6, 7 are related to this Shabdanai only. Okay. So the main division is also Shabdanai, and among the Shabdanai there are 3 divisions: Shabdanai, Sambirud Nay, and Evambut Nay. All three deals with terminology only. First of all, we see the viewpoint of terminology, Shabd Nay. This viewpoint differentiates between terms and names on the basis of their meanings. Actually, this particular point of view consider the synonyms. Okay, so a word may have three different words, but these are all synonyms. It means the same. Okay, so there is something come up in between. You can remove that, Aditi. Yeah, thank you. The words, this viewpoint difference between terms and names on the basis of their meanings. The words Indra, Shakra and Purendra, which are used to describe the Lord of heavenly beings. Okay, Lord of heavenly beings is Indra. So these three words are synonymous and they are used to describe the Lord of heavenly beings. Present an example of the viewpoint of terminology. So this viewpoint consider the synonymous words, okay, meaning the same thing. It implies the same thing, but the words are different, okay. But in the sixth point, the same thing have different meanings, okay. So let's read it out first and then we will understand. Viewpoint of derivatives, okay. As the name implies, this viewpoint examines and differentiates the various terms based on their roots. Okay, so based on their roots. In the above example of the Lord of heavenly beings, the viewpoint of derivatives distinguishes between the meanings of Indra, Shakra and Purandara. Indra means prosperous, Sakra means powerful, and Purandar means annihilator of enemies. Okay, so here the three words have three different meanings. Okay, so this is called viewpoint of derivatives. In viewpoint of terminology, it was all synonymous, same meaning. The words may be different, but meaning was same. Here the words are same, the meanings are different. Okay, Shakra, Indra means prosperous, Shakra means powerful, and Purandara means annihilator of enemies. Okay, so these are the specific differences between the meanings of the words. Although all three words means heavenly beings only, Lord of heavenly beings only, but here they have different meanings to each. Now the last one, seventh one. Viewpoint of manifestation. Viewpoint of manifestation. Evam Bhut Nay. Based on this viewpoint, a person or an object is considered to be what the name implies only when he is functioning according to the exact meaning of the term. Okay, so this particular viewpoint describes a person or an object with the same name when he is functioning according to the exact meaning of the term. Thus, the Lord of heavenly being is called Purandara only when he is annihilating his enemies. And a doctor is called a surgeon only when he is operating on a patient. Okay, so only when he is operating on a patient, he is called a surgeon. So this particular viewpoint states that the present, okay, this person considers the present about the person or the object, his present state. Okay, so when he is functioning according to the exact meaning of the term. Thus, the Lord of heavenly being is called Purendra only when he is eliminating Annihilating his enemies, and doctor is called surgeon only when he is operating on a patient. Obviously, the 7 viewpoints are employed to gradually and systematically obtain detailed or information on the object. So the purpose is to get the information, detailed information on the object, so that we are able to recognize the object and understand it. Okay. Information object under examination. The first four are called import related earth viewpoints. Okay. Because they deal with the object of knowledge, while the last three word related shabda viewpoints, because they pertain to terms and their meanings. The 7 viewpoints are also grouped in a different manner. The first three are entity based dravyarthik viewpoints, as they focus on the substantive part, substance part, while the last four are transformation based paryarthik viewpoints, because they deal with modifications. Okay. So this is where we complete the chapter 1. Again, this is the second time we are taking, and if you have any queries, we can take it up right now. Otherwise, we will begin the next topic, that is Pancha Kalyanak. Not Panchkanak, sorry. Samet Sikharji. Sorry. Samet Sikharji. Panchkanak.
Sir, this is not related to Tattvata Sutra. Is Ashtapahud is Kunda Kundacharya and Tattvata Sutra is Umaswati, right?
Right.
And Umaswati is disciple of Kunda Kundacharya.
Right.
So is Ashtapahud is the base book? Is the first, when I say base book?
Yeah. So Ashtapahud was written by Kunkund Acharya, and in fact there were 84 Pahuds written at that point of time. But people didn't preserve it and everything is lost. Initially we got hold of 6 Pahud, so it was called Shat Pahud. And then subsequently from Mudbadri and all, we got another 2 Pahud. So now it is Ast Pahud. So Astpaud was written by Kunkund Acharya there, and Acharya Uma Swami is the chief disciple of Kunkund Acharya Dev. So obviously Astpaud was written prior, and then Uma Swami wrote Tattvar Sutra.
Okay. One more question, sir. It is not again related because these two books were in the syllabus. In Ashtapahud, I think almost whatever we studied till date, right? Bahiratma,
Antaratma.
Paramatma concept, all the Nayas, including the all the different kind of living creatures, and sadhu, the charitras, everything is being covered. The only thing that I didn't see is about universe. So Kunda Kundacharya has written any other book on universe?
Universe?
Our Jain Lok.
No. Kunkund Acharya didn't write any book on that. So he wrote basically most of the books are of Dravyan Yoga and Charnan Yoga. So Ashtapahud is about the conduct of the monks.
Correct.
Because at that point of time there was laxity was seen among the monks.
Okay.
So to avoid that laxity, he specially wrote this Ashtapahud to discipline the monk community. Right? So you have to follow strict discipline. If you are a monk, you have to follow the strict discipline. Otherwise, the whole monk community will be, criticized.
Okay.
So Astpaud was written from that perspective.
Okay, sir. Okay.
And
because
Kunkund Acharya never wrote anything about karma theory. He didn't wrote anything about the cosmology. Nothing. Okay.
But karma, Asrava and all, Asrava is also was not there in Bahu.
So 7 fundamentals he has covered. He's covered 7 fundamentals in Samaisar.
Correct.
So that is covered, but not the karma theory. And of course, the cosmology, three worlds, and all that has not been covered
Sir,
in
when
any
you
of.
say karma theory, what did you mean here? Because I thought this Asrava, Nirjara, or
No, when we say
what did
karma
you?
theory, so there are 10 different states of karma. Okay. Band,
Oh,
Uday, Udirna,
Uday.
then
Uh-huh.
Sankraman, Apkarsan,
Ah,
Utkarsan,
ah,
Nidati,
okay,
Nikachit. So there are 10 states of karma, and other
okay.
discussion on karma is about Prakriti Bandh, Pradesh Bandh, Sthiti
Correct.
Bandh, and Duration Bandh. Okay.
Duration.
So Prakriti is the nature types of karmas.
Correct.
Then Pradesh is the space
Space.
point. Yes. And then we have Prakriti Pradesh Sthiti. Sthiti is duration. And then we have Anubhag Bandh. Anubhag Bandh is the power.
Center.
So this is also a very big discussions on karma. And then of course we have the divisions and subdivisions of karmas. So major divisions are 8, and then subdivisions are 148. So all these are karma theory. So Kunkundacharya never wrote anything on karma theory or cosmology. Both are a subject matter of Karnan Yoga. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
Kunkundacharya never covered that.
Okay.
So Niyamsar, Pravachansar, and Samaysar are related to Dravyan Yoga. Ashtapaud, so Panchastika is also about Dravyan Yoga only. Only Ashtapaud is about Charnan Yoga. Okay. So Kunkundacharya never wrote a story, Pratman Yoga. And he also never wrote anything about the Karnan Yoga or the cosmology. Okay. So
Ashtapahud, first few chapters are on Dravyan Yoga, right? Sir, philosophical. Only last 4
no.
or
First
5
are
is
also about the
Charan.
discipline of the conduct of the monk.
Conduct. Okay, we should look in that way. Okay.
Right.
Okay, sir. Okay, Guruji. Understood.
Anything
Thank you.
else? Anyone else having any questions? Even if you are reading later on, if you find any questions, you are always welcome to ask. Because today is the 24th, right? So we have still 15 days to go for the exam, and you can still, in between, if you are reading anything, you are not understanding anything, you can always ask. Okay. So now we move on to the next topic, Sem5. It's the king of all the pilgrims that we visit. Why? Because out of 24 Tirthankars, 20 Tirthankars got liberated from Sem5. Okay. And innumerable monks also went to liberation from Sem5. So we have a special place of Sem5 in Jainism as a pilgrim place. Okay. So you can share the. Yes. Saswat Tirth Dham Samet Shikhar. Okay. Sashwat means eternal. No beginning, no end. It's eternal. Okay. So as a rule, all the Tirthankars take birth from Ayodhya and get liberated from Sem5. All the 24, every time. Only because this was a special kind of time called Hunda Avarsarpini. Okay. It is called Hunda Avarsarpini. That's why only 20 Tirthankar got liberated from Sem5, and 4 Tirthankars went from some other places. Okay. Otherwise, as a rule, all the 24 gets birth from Ayodhya and gets liberated from Sem5. So it's a eternal ford. Tirth is called ford. Okay. Eternal ford for us. Now we begin with the So this is a invocation taken from Pravachan Sarji. एस सुरासुरमणु सिंध वंदिदम दोदगायकम अमलम पडमामि वड्डमाणम तित्थम धम्म सकतारम. I bow to Lord Vardhaman. So then it's written in Hindi also, Harigit, and that also we will read. Sur Asur Indra Narendra Vandita Karma Mala Nirmal Karana. Vrasa Tirtha के करतारा श्री वर्धमान जिन सत सत नमन. So this is the Hindi of the Prakrit text. Okay, the Prakrit has been translated into Hindi in this Harigit. Now the meaning. I bow to Lord Tirthankar, Lord Vardhaman, Tirthankar, Lord Vardhaman. Venerated by Surendras. Surendras are lords of celestials. Indra. Okay, it is also called Indra. And then Asurendra. Asurendra are lords of infernals, hell. And Narendras. Rulers among men. So Chakravarti. Chakravarti is Narendra. Indra is Surendra. And Asurendra is Lord of Infernals. So all three are the heads of their respective divisions. Okay. So the Lord Vardhaman, Mahavir Swami, the Tirthankar, the last Tirthankar, is being respected, venerated by the three persons who are Lord of their particular divisions, who washes away the impurity in the form of Ghatiya karmas. So Lord Vardhaman has destroyed all the four obscuring karmas. Okay. So he has washed off all the four obscuring karmas or destructive karmas, and is the establisher of the spiritual ford. So what is this spiritual ford? Ford means tirth and spiritual means dharma tirth. Okay. So generally in invocations, Manglacharan, we always bow to the Tirthankars, either first Tirthankar or last Tirthankar, or for that matter any other Tirthankar who are prevailing at that point of time. In the auspicious invocation Manglacharan of Pravachan Sar, Acharya Kund Kund refers to Lord Vardhaman as the establisher of the religious ford. Okay, Dharma Tirth, religious ford. The very etymology of the word Tirthankar is this. Tirtham karoti iti Tirthankar. Okay. The one who establishes a ford, Tirth, is a Tirthankar. So now what is this Tirth? Okay. So that is coming up in the next paragraph. If those who established a Tirth are called Tirthankars, then the question naturally arises, what is a Tirth? What is a ford? That which when taken refuge in, okay, enables noble souls, Bhavya Jeev, okay. The souls who are going to get liberated very soon are called noble Jeevs, noble souls, to cross over the ocean of worldly existence and attain liberation. Moksha is called a ford. Okay. So the one which takes us, helps us in crossing over the ocean of worldly existence and attain liberation is called ford, तीर्थ. जो तारे सो तीर्थ, भव सागर से तारे वो तीर्थ. So तीर्थ is this ford. Okay. It also means uh, the preachings. Also, it also means preachings, because through preachings only we are able to understand our own nature and get liberated. Okay. By taking refuge in one's own divine self. Okay. Own divine self is the pure soul. Nij Bhagwan Atma. Own pure soul. One attains right belief. Okay. Samyak darshan, knowledge and conduct, along with the experience of infinite non-sensory bliss. Okay. Along with that, what you are experiencing? Infinite non-sensory bliss. Okay. Eternal bliss, happiness. Therefore, the divine self itself is the supreme ford, Param Tirth. Our own soul is Param Tirth. Because when we take refuge in it, when we take shelter of it, that is the time we manifest right belief, right knowledge, right conduct. So this is itself is the supreme ford, Param Tirtha, as explained in the following lines of the Shiv Chakra Mandal Vidhan. निज आत्म रूप सुतीर्थ मग नित सरस आनंद धारो नाशे त्रिविधि मल सकल दुखमय भव जल दिखे पार हो. Our own soul is only a ford. Our own pure soul is the ford. Okay. And it allows us to experience eternal bliss all the time, beautiful eternal bliss. And it destroys the threefold impurities. What is this threefold impurities? It could be expressed in two ways. First is the false belief, false knowledge and false conduct. Okay. And the next one is delusions, attachments and aversions. Both can be referred as threefold impurity. So this has been destroyed. These impurities are being destroyed, and all the sakal, all types of sorrow, dukhmai, bhav jaladidi ke paar ho. It enables us to cross this ocean of worldly existence. Okay. And eliminate all kinds of sorrows. Okay. So our soul is such a capable entity. So now the meaning is given. So in my book, the meaning was not given. So I was not aware. The true ford, okay. The true ford is in the form of one's own self, Atma, ever flowing with the fresh stream of bliss. It destroys the threefold impurities and ferries the soul across the ocean of worldly existence filled with suffering. Such a nice construction of the definition. So now the discussion on tirth will go on. Okay. So there are two types of tirth. One is material tirth and other is psychic tirth. And there are another two divisions of tirth. One is from the real point of view and one is from the conventional point of view. So from the real point of view, our own soul, the three gems, right belief, right knowledge, right conduct, then Dev Shastra Guru, okay, true Dev, true Guru and true Shastra, and then, so all these are formed from the real point of view, and from the conventional point of view, all places of pilgrim visits that we do, okay, where the 5 auspicious events are held, Panchkarana, then there are some miraculous sites of pilgrimage, Atishay Kshetra, and then there are some place of birth of Tirthankars. All these are considered as conventional ford. Okay, so real ford and conventional ford. So now we will read this 2-3 pages. Okay, Jinpriya, you only read in the above lines.
Yes. In the above lines, one's own divine self has been described as the true fort. It is only by taking refuge in the divine self that right belief, knowledge, and conduct arise. For knowing the divine self is called right knowledge. Establishing a sense of belonging in self-defined divine self is called right belief, and being absorbed in the divine self is called right conduct. Thank you, Ji. The unity of right belief, knowledge, and conduct is itself the path to liberation, moksha, and the sole means of crossing the ocean of worldly existence. Therefore, right belief, knowledge, conduct are also forts, tirthas in their own right. In this context, the following statement from Davala is noteworthy. Dhammo namasamma damsa nano charitra ede. Should I read this? Samsara sayaram tirtha
You
idi
can read if you
edini
are able to read. You read.
Dharma means right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. Through these, one crosses the ocean of worldly existence, and hence they are called forts tirthas. In the Bodha Pahuda, Acharya Kunda Deva has described right belief, knowledge, conduct, and austerity in the form of pure dharma as a code. The original verse from the Bodha Pahuda is follows. Jam, I'm skipping that word, sir. I might pronounce it wrong. That pure dharma comprising right belief, knowledge, and self-restraint, samyama, and austerity, when embraced with tranquility of mind on the path of the jina, alone is considered a fourth, tirtha. The only difference between the statements of Davala and Bodha Pahuda is that where Davala includes conduct, Bodha Pahuda refers instead to self-restraint, samyama, and austerity. Since self-restraint and austerity are themselves form of conduct, there remains in essence no real difference between the two statements. The unavoidable pure disposition, orientation, and restrained conduct that arise in Vitaragi sayings due to the absence of Anantanubhuti, Apraya, Aprayakya Varna, Pratyakya Varna, Kashayas type of passions is called Samyama, self-restraint. And the ever-increasing inner purification brought about by intense self-directed spiritual effort, Atma Mukti Ugra Purusartha, along with the corresponding orientation and rigorous conduct is called Tapa. Both are in essence form of Charitra, right conduct. In the above statements, on one hand, the soul Atma is referred to as a fourth Tirtha, and on the other, the three jewels that arise from taking refuge in self are also called fourth. Therefore, in Yogasara, Muniraj Sri Yogindu Deva describes the soul endowed with three jewels, Ratnatraya Yukta Atma, as fourth Tirtha. Shall I continue, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. His original statement is as follows. I'm skipping the lines. The Hindi Padya. Okay. The Harigita, the soul endowed with the three jewels alone is Tirtha. It alone is the cause of liberation, neither mantra or tantra is. Thus, it is established that right perception, samyak darshana, knowledge, jnana, and conduct charitra, which arise by taking refuge in one's divine self, Nija Bhagavan Atma, are in themselves dharma, tirtha, and the path of liberation, moksha. And those who
So your voice has gone.
I think her connection is not very stable.
Yes. So somebody else can start reading.
Should I read it from
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
Jinpriya ji, I will take it because
are known as Tirthangaras. Beautiful. The
So your voice is breaking, Jinpriya. Your voice is breaking. So Aditi will read.
from here I will take it, okay?
Yeah.
The supremely sacred speech of Tirthankar lords, the divine sound, Divyadvani, as well as the sacred literature composed on the basis of that divine sound, is also referred to as Tirth. For the speech of Jin, Jinvani, the supreme canon, Parmagam, and the scripture, Agam, all serve as a potent instrumental causes in ferrying the
sorry, sir, my connection got lost. Very sorry.
So your voice was also breaking. So now Aditi is reading, right?
So for the speech of Jin, Jinvani, the supreme canon, Parmagam, and the scriptures, Agams, all serve as potent instrumental causes in ferrying the noble souls, Bhavya Jeevs, across the ocean of worldly existence. In this context, the following statement from the Sanskrit commentary of Acharya Pujyapad Samadhi Shatak is noteworthy. Tirthaktra, I will just move ahead, their big name. Just as Tirthankars are called Tirths because they serve as causes for crossing the ocean of worldly existence, in the same way the scriptures, Agams, too are called fords for being such a cause. In the Mulachar, while discussing material fords, Dravya Tirths, and spiritual fords, Bhavya Tirths, all
Jinendra Dev.
All Jinendra Devs are described as spiritual forms, Bhavya Tirths. The original verses from the Mulachar are as follows. A ford tirth is of two types, material and spiritual, Dravya and Bhavya, distinguished by their respective characteristics. A material ford, Dravya Tirtha, is defined by three key features. It pacifies afflictions, Tantap, destroys cravings, Trishna, and purifies the filth of defilement, Panka. All Jinnadevs are endowed with perception, darshan, knowledge, jnana, and charitra. And for this very reason, they are known as spiritual fords. In Purusharth Siddhupai, Acharyas, just like Tirthankars, are also described as promulgators of the spiritual ford, Dharma Tirtham. The verse reads as, those who, through the exposition of real Nishchay and the conventional Vyavhar, have destroyed the formidable ignorance in humble disciples, such acharyas who are experts in the conventional viewpoints and real viewpoints, Nishchay Nai, are the ones who establish the spiritual ford in this world. In this way, we observe that in Jain scriptures, Jainagams, not only the three jewel form of dharma, Ratnatraya Rupa Dharma, but also the divine beings, devs, scriptures, shastra, and preceptors, gurus, have been regarded as fords and as promulgators. Among the devs, not only the Tirthankar lords, but also the ordinary Jinendra devs are included. Since they serve as the direct instrumental cause in crossing the ocean of worldly existence, the real fords, Nishchay Tirths, are the divine self, the three jewels form of Dharma, Ratnatraya Rupa Dharma, and the divine beings, scriptures and preceptors, Dev Shastra Guru. However, at the conventional level, those supremely sacred places are called as forts, tirths, where these divine beings, scriptures, or preceptors engaged in self-realization, Atma Aradhana, where scriptures were composed or where they were preserved. While discussing conventional forts, Vyavhar Tirths, the Sanskrit commentary on Bodh Pahud states, those supremely sacred places are called tirths, where the divine self, Nij Bhagwan Atma,
So you have missed one paragraph. This one.
Yeah, sorry. Urjayanta, Shatrunjay, Latadesh, Pavagiri, and similar places renowned in the world and touched by the lotus feet of liberated souls are conventional fords, Vyavhar Tirths, as they are causes of attainment of the real fords, Nishchay Tirth. These are the sites of the 5 auspicious events, Pancha Kalyanaks of the Tirthankars. All such fords that exist upon the earth are worthy of veneration, for they serve as a cause for destruction of karma. Those supremely sacred places are called as tirths, where the divine self, Nij Bhagwan Atma, is worshipped, where the three jewel dharma is practiced, where Tirthankars and others have attained Nirvan, where the 5 auspicious events, Pancha Kalyanaks of the Tirthankars have taken place, where the scriptures, Agams, supreme scriptures, Parmagams, were composed, where passionless saints, Vitragi sons, dwell, and where those saints engaged in self-discipline and spiritual striving, Atma Sadhana. Today, the entire world primarily regards places like Samet Shikhar as tirths, undertaking pilgrimages to them in the name of tirth and engaging in Atma Aradhana there. Yet, it remains unaware that the divine self, Bhagwan Atma, itself is a tirth, and the three jewel form of Dharma is also called a tirth. That the Jindevs are tirths, the Jinvani is a tirth, and Jin temples are also tirths. Due to the primacy of location, these are also referred to as pilgrimage sites or tirth kshetras. Owing to the diverse reasons behind their establishment, they are classified into various categories such as liberation sites, Siddh Kshetras, miraculous sites, Atishay Kshetras, artistic sites, Kala Kshetras, and auspicious event sites, Kalyana Kshetras, among others. Places from where Tirthankars or the ordinary Kevalis attained liberation are known as liberation sites, Siddh Kshetras. Those places where one or more of the 5 auspicious events, Pancha Kalyanaks, or of the Tirthankars occurred are called as auspicious event for Kalyanak Tirthas.
Some places
came to be regarded as forts due to the presence of grand Jain images, Jain bimbas. Jain Badri is recognized as Tirtha solely because of the massive statue of Gomateshwar Bahubali. Likewise, Mud Badri is considered a Tirth owing to the presence of Jinbims made of precious gems and preservation of original manuscripts of texts like the Dhavalas and others. Khajuraho and Devgarh are regarded as tirth for their artistic brilliance. They are especially renowned as artistic pilgrimage sites. Kala Tirths. Some pilgrimage sites, Tirth Kshetras, are associated with astonishing or miraculous events and are therefore known as miraculous sites, Atishay Kshetras. Mahavirji, Chandanpura, Padmaprabhaji, Bara, and Kandaprabhaji,
Chandraprabha.
Chandraprabhaji, Tijara are examples of such sites. In recent times, some forts, tirths are also being developed due to various reasons. In this way, taken together, there are more than 300 pilgrimage sites and over 10,000 Jain temples across Bharat Varsha, each one a supremely sacred place for the worship and practice of dharma. These Tirth Kshetras are Jain Mandirs are foundational pillars of Jain culture, the focal points of reverence for the Jain community and powerful basis for social unity and integrity. It is due to these very sites that the Jain community of North India travels across East, West, and South India. The community of South India likewise visits the East, West, and North. In the same way, the community of Eastern India undertakes pilgrimages to the North, South, and West, and the community of Western India journeys to the North, South, and East of the country. The focal points of pilgrimages for the Jain community include in the east, Sem5, other liberation sites along with the caves of Udaygiri and Khandagiri. In the west, Girnar, Shatrunjay, and similar tirths. In the north, Hastinapur and the like. And in the south, Jain Badri and Mudbadri. And in central India, artistic tirths like Khajuraho and Devgad. Touching upon these very focal points, the Jain community of Bharatvarsh continues to meet and connect with one another through its pilgrimages, nurturing and deepening fellowship among co-religionists. Sadharmi Vatsalya, three pilgrimage sites are the sole Tirth Kshetras are the sole meaning of uniting Sadharmi brothers and sisters residing in far-flung regions. They not only strengthen social unity but also serve as bridges of national integrity. Indeed, all tirths are supremely sacred. However, those tirths that are associated with the five auspicious events, Panchakalyanaks of the Tirthankars, hold special significance for the Tirthankars, are the very originators and the spiritual guides of Jain philosophy and dharma. Among the auspicious event pilgrimage sites, Kalyana Tirths, those sites that are the places of liberation, Nirvan Bhumis of the Tirthankars are considered most important. For liberation, Nirvan is the ultimate goal, the supreme attainment. Samit Shikharji is the...
Stop. So here the discussion on Tirth, that is ford, is complete. So if I summarize the whole thing, there are two types of Tirth. Okay, one is from the real point of view and the another is from the conventional point of view. So from the real point of view, first is your own soul, our own pure soul, divine soul. Okay, so Bhagwan Atma, so that is the first. Then the three gems or the three jewels, right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct, is also considered as ford. The third one is the passionlessness, religion, detachment, is also called tirth. Then the last one is the Tirthankars are also called Tirth. The Shastras, the scriptures are also called Tirth. And the preceptors are also called Tirth. Okay. So all this is from the real point of view. Now from the conventional point of view, those pure places where these Tirthankars have done their meditation, okay, and worship, and also those places where they have been born, where they got liberated from, okay. Then there are some special places called Siddh Kshetra, those who got liberated from. Then there is Atishay Kshetra, miraculous sites, and there is Kala Kshetra, the sites famous for its artistry. And of course, we have the Tirthankar's Panch Kalyanak, the five auspicious events in the life of a Tirthankar. All these places are called ford from the conventional point of view. Okay. So now the discussion will start on Summit Seeker. Okay. Why Summit Seeker? What is the importance of Summit Seeker? That is, we are going to discuss in the next class, that is tomorrow. And hopefully tomorrow we will be finishing this also. Okay. So that tomorrow will be our last class. This is self-reading also. You can do it yourself also, but since we thought that we have time, so we will cover it in the class. So you can have you can revise this again, and you can read the whole scriptures again also, so that when tomorrow we will discuss, you will come to know, you will understand better. Okay. So this is all we have for today, and tomorrow we will again resume with this Samit Sikharji. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है। 19